Eric, I want to talk to you as a sort of a spin-off of what we're talking about with communion and prayer. I want to ask you kind of what your thoughts are about fasting. What do you think what part does fasting play in your life, and what part should it play in our lives as believers that practice the presence of the Lord?
The way that I view fasting is, Thomas Dubai said this, God is like light. And we get that from John, God is light. He said, God is like light. He will come into a room to the degree that he is not obstructed. So if you open up a window, he will come in through that window as much as he is not obstructed. And fasting to me is removing obstructions to the shining of God's light. Another way to look at it would be if you and I were in a restaurant and I had something very important to tell you. I wouldn't tell you with everybody talking because I really want you to hear me. So what I would do is I'd say, hey, come here. And we'd go outside, away from everybody, and I'd say, listen, I got to tell you this. And that you'd be able to hear me without obstruction. So for me, fasting is those seasons of time, whatever it is that a person does. I do short fasts. Some of my friends go on long ones. But it's getting away from everybody so that he can hear you and you can hear him. It's removing the obstructions in the window so that the light can shine in. Sometimes you don't know what to do, and so you'll say, I'm just going to fast about this. Sometimes you feel your heart starting to get hard. You say, Lord, I just need you. I remember you said to me one time when I asked you why you fast, you said it's like a spiritual recalibration, which is a perfect way to say it. But I like to look at it like that as well. The light shining in the window without obstruction and pulling someone away to hear him without obstruction. It really deadens and silences all the internal noises that we have to a greater degree than just getting still. It actually helps you reach a deeper stillness than otherwise would have grabbed or found.
Would you give someone some guidelines for fasting? In other words, would you tell them you should be fasting once a month or once a week, or do you think it should just be something totally spontaneous and spirit-led?
Well, I've had times where God spoke to me to fast, specifically how many days, when to do it, but that's very rare. Most of mine is a spiritual discipline. I do it because I love the way that I feel on it. I feel weak. I feel broken. I feel dependent. And for me, I find him in no better place. I try to fast constantly, weekly. Because even at the end of the day, 8 hours, 10 hours of not eating, you feel weak in your knees. And I like that. It makes me remember that I'm dependent upon, I need you. I need your presence in my life. When Jesus said, when the bridegroom goes, that's when they'll fast. Remember when the Pharisees came, why don't your disciples fast? He said, well, when the bridegroom goes, then they'll fast. Showing that fasting has to do with presence of the bridegroom. He connected them together. And so that's how I choose to look at it. My love relationship with Jesus is affected greatly in an awesome way when I choose to push away the plate and just spend extra time with him and remove the obstructions. I find a difference in my own heart. And so I would say to someone, you will find that it will help you in many ways. Hear him, just like getting out of a room. It'll help the shining of him in your own heart, the softness of your heart, the recalibration, as you said.